Yo, we're out here on the road working, and orientation sucks. And if you haven't been to many of them, then the ones you have been to, you know that you hate that time. But there's a ton of information. This is what you need to be a trucker. Let's be professional. Here we go. We got our list. Okay, so orientation notes. You want to get your company protocols and procedures. How do you get your load assignments? What type of ELD? You need your load checklist, delivery checklist. How do you get fuel in the truck? What's your pay like? If it breaks down, what then? What about your insurance, your health and stuff, and of course the permit book? Okay, so let's go through this deal here. All right, so let's say that we're going to the orientation. We want our pen and our pad to be able to figure these things out. We got to take notes in the orientation. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. You got to pay attention at this time because you're going to get hit with so much so fast. And you got to listen to what they're saying and then write it down. And if it's something that you're going to have to ask further questions about, take note that you need to ask this question, right? So don't forget and then get out here on the road and be in a bind and stressed out. And what about traffic? And check engine light come on. What do I do now? Okay, so when you go to a company, you're going to have different procedures and protocols. Now, sometimes they're going to take your physical. Sometimes they're going to want you to do a new physical. Sometimes they want to watch you jump up and down in the trailer. Sometimes they want to do a driving test. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you'll go through like a Smith system training and all that. So that's just being aware. Like the best guy that ever did Smith system, he said, I'm not here to teach you how to drive. I'm here to sharpen your skills. Like you know how to drive. You're a professional driver. But I'm going to show you what I do in traffic and as I go about my business, my mind on my business, minding my business. And man, just that up front, I was like, okay, cool. So like that's what we're doing. So clear boundaries. All right. So how are we going to have these clear boundaries in the orientation process? So you're going to have different protocols. Like some got these macros and stuff you got to send in and all this kind of stuff. We're here to move freight. Okay, so your mindset has to be, I'm going to take this freight from this location, from the shipper to the receiver, and I'm going to make sure everybody in the process has what they need to be successful. That's my actual job. I'm a professional product relocator and a problem solver. Okay, whatever they pay me is for that entire process. Whichever way the company chooses to meter your paycheck, just let go of that thought completely. You're getting paid to complete the load. You get assigned the load, you complete the load, whatever that is. Okay, your different companies are going to have different things. They're going to say this and say that. Take your notes. Okay, so let's go with load assignment. Okay, you definitely want to. I'll post this. I'll put this picture on there again so you can see some stuff. You want to develop your own rhythm, your own routine, and you need about this size of paper to be effective. The little bitty one, it's just there's too much information for one page. It's not 1985. You're going to need some more. And then like carrying around a spiral notebook, kind of ridiculous. It's too big. So these little illegal pads, these sternos or whatever they call them, excellent, I have found. And the spiral holds an ink pen. That's good. Don't go cheap. Okay. Side note, go cheap. Do everything as cheap as possible. Count the pennies. You know what I mean? If you can save 5 cents and it's en route, save the 5 cents. You know what I mean? Okay, so the load assignment. Okay, so I gotta know my company information. If I can get the load number and stuff, a pickup number, what's the broker's name, whatever. I need to get that information sent to me. I need the address. I need the appointment time. Is it first come, first serve? Whatever. What day am I supposed to be there? And the correct address is real big. So if I know the appointment time and date, and then I have the correct address, and then I have the name of the company, so I know what's on the sign, okay, and I write all this stuff down. If something's wonky to whatever degree, I could use the Google search and say, navigate to Amazon distribution center in Dallas, Texas, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So I might have address, and then I type that into the Googles. I look at the satellite map, and I'm like, okay, is this a facility for a truck? And then what is the entrance for the trucks? And you can look, generally you'll see a little square with a shadow to some degree that'll show like a guard shack or whatever, and then look at the tire tracks going in and coming out. So like you'll notice and then a lot of times the picture will actually show a truck pulling in or waiting at a guard shack, whatever. So that's really good to find your destination. But you need an address. You need a way to figure it out yourself when nobody answers the phone, because nobody's going to answer the phone when you need it, and then they're going to call you back when it's very inconvenient, possibly unsafe. Okay, so you got to get your load assignment. Where am I picking up? Where am I going? And for both 1 and 2, the shipper, I need the name, the address, the appointment time, what day it is, and then also for the receiver, I need the name of the place, I need the address, I need what day to be there and what time to be there. Okay, so that's critical. If you could meet your dispatcher for the first time, and you look at him and say, "Sir, I'm here to make you successful. If I make you wealthy, rich will rub off on me." This guy already likes you straight out the gate. You got the right attitude for the job, okay? And then that's any job, by the way. So then you tell this guy, say, "Look, here's what I need. I need the name of the place. I need the address. I need to know what day to be there and what time to be there, at a minimum, for the shipper and for the receiver. At a minimum. If you got any kind of pickup numbers and stuff like that, broker names, whatever, that would be great as well. But I literally can't get there if I don't know where I'm going and I don't know when to be there." And they're going to laugh a little bit. You're like, "Oh, yeah, that's basic stuff," or whatever like that. But mark my words, in the future, after talking with this guy the first time, there will come a day where you can say, "Hang on a second, remember what I said I need?" And then you say all that stuff again. Okay? Name of the company, address to the company, time to be there, day to be there, right? It's not negotiable. I need these to function. Okay, so that's cool. That sounds redundant and everything, but for real, you need that. Okay, so then like you gotta take notes in your orientation. How am I going to get my stuff? I'm getting all my stuff communicating via WhatsApp. It's encrypted, so that's good. You know what I mean? And then everything's in text form, so everybody can see it. And so that's really good for me to be able to get my load information and do what I got to do. And I get the load information, I write it down. And if this thing doesn't work, for whatever reason, no service, it updates, whatever, you know what I mean? I got it wrote down. And then when they ask me a question 6 months later, I can be like, flip through my book and be like, "Oh, here's the notes. This is where I was at. This is what I did." Whatever. Okay, now you're going to want to ask about the ELD. Let's go to the next line item is ELD. Okay, so your ELD system, it'll vary company by company, but you got these various things. You need to know how to. You need to know what your specifically your type is, and I think this here is Samsara. I've used several, and they're all similar or whatever, and each company has their particular way. Okay, so don't get mad. Don't get mad. You have the DOT, the federal law, the state law, and the company policies and procedures of your company policies and procedures of the shipper and of the receiver. Okay, so you got a bunch of people telling you what to do and how to do it, or fighting you if you don't already know somehow miraculously what they want you to do. So that is your job. You are a professional. It is your job to know those things. Okay, so that's your ELD. Okay, so your load checklist. Okay, when I get loaded, I need to be. I need to make sure the equipment. I check in this and that. They'll say do this, that, and the other. I try to figure out what they want from me. I've looked at the satellite. I figured out how to enter this place. Then I talk with them. I look for signs, like the right sign. Okay, this is the name I got. This is the name on the sign. Trucks enter here, shipping over here, receiving over there, whatever. Talk to the guy at the gate. Ask any questions. I got my notepad right here. So if he says my door 43 is the shipping office and it's on the south side of the road, and I write that on my note, what door I'm supposed to go to check in. Okay, I might need to send a message via whatever device to let them know that I've checked in, and then or that I'm checking in. Okay, and then when I go in, I want to do whatever song and dance is required to get loaded, get the dock door, open the doors, back into dock 85 or whatever it is, and at that point that I get in the dock, I've set the brakes, everything's complete, I go directly to sleeper berth. Sleeper berth means I'm in the sleeper. It does not mean I'm asleep. And then my notes, I click sleeper berth, but then I also write waiting. Okay, so that works for your split sleeper logs and stuff. If you know, you know. If you don't, ask somebody about split sleeper berth and how that benefits you in your daily goings about. Okay, so I get as soon as I go into sleeper berth or whatever else like that, I send a note to the company through whatever means in dock number 89 loading currently or whatever, right? So I send that in. Okay, so now my people know exactly what's going on, right? Okay, we get the green light. The protocol is the guy comes out, gives me a piece of paper, or I go, park somewhere, secure the load, go back in, get the paper, whatever. I get the BOL, I get the paperwork, all right? So I'm taking, and some of these places are like, get out of here, right? And some of these places are like pretty laid back. You can sleep there if you would need to. Okay, so that gets into the policy of the shipper and receiver. Whatever they say, you're delivering a service. Okay, so you want to be respectful, professional, actually have clothes on, including like a closed-toed shoe. You are representing your company when you go there. It's a lot bigger deal than people think to appear to be professional, because in all the trades, the guy that doesn't appear and doesn't produce is the guy that does not have a job. You could be a complete jerk. You can wreck the truck. You can tear stuff up occasionally. But if you're the professional guy that's always on time and always delivers the load, and you're consistently producing 3,500 miles of travel in a week, that boss man's going to be like, well, he's producing revenue or whatever. Yeah, like he run over a freaking fire hydrant. I'm looking at a fire hydrant right here. Yeah, he hit a fire hydrant, but shit happens. He's been driving for 3 years. He's never tore anything else up, and he's been late one time, and that's because he had a flat. You see what I'm saying? Make it make sense for the boss. I'm here to make you wealthy so rich will rub off on me. And I'm going to document the journey. That way I can build my own company or whatever like that, because that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I get loaded. I get the paperwork, right? I'm taking pictures of the paperwork, whether that's on the spot or on the street out past. I've had to leave because that's their policy, whatever. Generally, I will leave a door open and drive to the guard shack, but you want to watch. Okay, when you're backing up, this is a big deal. It'll happen twice in your life. You'll look at the back mirror, and you'll look at the mirror over here, and you'll back into a dock, and that door will come loose, and it'll swing back like that, and you will crush the garage door to the shipper, and you will knock the door off the trailer. Like, I think it happens about twice The average driver, it'll happen twice ever. Okay, and there's two types of people in that situation. Number one, the guy that got close to the door and looked, and when he looked, he didn't just see where he was at. He looked to make sure the door is actually open. Okay, the door is actually open before you bump the dog. That's a big deal. Okay. Anyway, and that was a backing deal. I should have said that already. Okay, so you got your paperwork. You left the door open. You're at the guard guy. You do the song and dance, high five, fist bump. Hand him a Bible, whatever. Pull out onto the street. Oh, and the guards, if you're going to be going in and out, dude, give him a bag of grapes, dude. For real. Like, nobody gives the guard a bag of grapes. If you see this dude, you're on a dedicated run or whatever else like that, yeah, give him a bag of grapes. Everybody eat a grape, you know what I mean? And just the thought that counts or whatever, and be friendly and stuff like that. You're going to, once he talks to the people inside, before you know it, about the fifth or sixth time you've seen this dude, now you're the guy that gets a dock when everybody else is waiting. That reap what you sow. Some people call it karma. It's actually the law of sowing and reaping. If I plant corn, I will get corn. If I give this guy grapes, I will have a grape experience at this shipper or receiver. That's a pro tip. All right. Grease the wheels with snacks and humor. Okay. So I pulled out onto the street at this particular place. Now I need to do my ELD thing. So I'm on duty or whatever. I do on duty, and I put in the notes, securing the load. Okay, that was the other thing. It's like when you pull in, until you're in the dock, you go on duty or yard move, loading. Okay? And then you're in the dock, and then you leave the dock, you get the paper and stuff. While you're in the dock, you're in sleeper berth. Then you go into on duty, click on your loading again, and then in the notes, write, securing the load. Okay? So now from the time that you pull out to shut the doors, do the thing, get the deal, do your paperwork, send it in, out the gate, do your protocol for your carrier company to send in the information. So he's got a copy of the BOL. So if something happens, you lose the paper, he has a picture of it. He can, confirm that with the broker, whatever, right? So now all that is done, and you take off driving. The ELD clicks on to the drive line automatically. Now, if you drove out under the yard move, you need to stop somewhere and go on duty and specifically put, securing the load. I love that, securing the load, because it sounds real professional. If you get stopped by DOT or something like that, and he sees in your notes that you're spending 8 minutes actually strapping this thing down and like shutting the doors and putting a seal on there. Okay, what I do for our company, I'll get to where it's appropriate. I'll take a picture of the load that it's secured, and I'll shut the doors, and then I will take a picture of the seal. I'll put the seal on it, put the padlock on it, back away, take a picture of the whole back of the truck. Lights are flashing, the whole 9 yards. I want that picture's where they can zoom in, see the trailer number, see that the seal is actually on it. I got a separate picture with the number of the seal, and I've also sent a picture of the paperwork that has the seal number on the paperwork, right? So we are good to go. They loaded it. I didn't load it. They did that. I took a picture of what they did. It's secure, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Send all that shit in, and now we're going to take off driving, right? So you got your GPS loaded up or whatever like that. Now you're driving, right? So that's your loaded checklist, okay? And then let's say that we get to we get to where we're going, okay? We drive however far. Now we're about to get to the receiver. Some point, like 30 minutes before you get there, I mean, just go ahead and just take the time to pull over, kick the water out of the tire, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, relieve yourself. Be prepared to go into this place, not just dancing around because you're about to piss your pants and, in a fluster, right? Like, just take the time to stop at an appropriate stop. You know what I'm saying? Never stop on the side of the highway unless there's actually an emergency. Like, take an exit, get to the top of the exit, cross over to the other side, pull over for a second, get out, take a leak, make sure your seal's still intact, whatever. Get all your paperwork together where you can hand it out the deal or whatever. Take a deep breath, drink of water, do some jumping jacks, whatever your thing is. Hey, proceed on to the guy. Okay, so now pull it into double check your GPS and do your Google Maps via your phone, because 2 is better than 1. 1 is done and 2 is 1, right? So you want redundancy, and you want that traffic so you can see the traffic on your maps. And then if you got 2 devices and they're both telling you the same path, probably a good sign. Yeah, they're saying different, check it out, whatever. Okay, so your delivery checklist, okay, you get there, when you pull in, you want to switch to on duty, hand the guy the paperwork or whatever so he can start his process, and send a note that you have arrived, that you're checking in, right? He'll tell you whatever song and dance to do, and take note, go to the receiving door, blah, blah. It's my door 14 or whatever. So do their song and dance for their procedure. You get over there and you go in, get your dock door or whatever like that. Give them whatever information they need. They might give that to you at the guard gate, whatever. You go, you let them break the seal. You want them to break the seal. Oftentimes it doesn't matter. It's about 50-50, but some people are like really just stupid with the security. It's like, buddy, I got napkins. Like, no, people are going to blow their nose on this, throw it in the trash. Like, they don't care. You know what I mean? They're acting like you're hauling nuclear spent fuel rods or something. Anyway, just grin and bear it. You know what I mean? If they want you to walk back there and open or shut the doors, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. If it's a guy, generally say the opposite of the weather. If it's cold out, say, man, it's hot, ain't it? And they'll laugh. Say the opposite and bring in some type of complaining for some reason. If you complain about something together, now you're buddies, whatever. And then if it's like a chick or whatever else like that, like, oh, where'd you get your nails done? Oh, my wife would love that. So see, I've complimented her. Then I mentioned that I'm a married guy. So now she knows I'm not hitting on her. I'm just like a dude that actually likes fingernails or hairstyle, whatever she's put effort into. So now we're buddies, right? So we're buddies. This is customer service. All business is just dealing with people. So like, I want the guard happy. I want the office lady happy. I want my people happy. And then like greasing the wheels, you know what I mean? So they come out, they bust the seal, we open the doors together, they visually see everything secure. They tell me, bump dock 27, right? So I go over there, and the whole time I'm on duty, okay, or in yard move, depending on what's going on, okay? So I go over there, bump the dock, do whatever protocol, chalk the tires, slide the tandems, open the door, back it in, whatever. Now I'm going to go into a sleeper berth and type waiting, right? Because I don't know if it's going to be 20 minutes or 20 hours I'm going to be in this door. So I want to be, I can't go off duty because I can't leave the truck, but I can go back there. Again, sleeper berth is not saying that I'm asleep. It's saying that I am in the truck, but I'm not in the cab. I'm in the sleeper. I could be playing Xbox. It doesn't matter. Okay, so get the green light. They bring out the paperwork, it's signed, whatever like that. Pull up, do whatever. Get out. Either do it there on the yard or pull out onto the street, whatever their protocol is. Make it through the guard gate. When you pull up to the guard gate, if the gate is open, this is a pro tip. The gate is open, stop in the gate. Pull up until if they shut the gate, they are shutting it on the vehicle. You always want to do that. If you come up there and it's open, and you pull up and you just stick your nose past that threshold, if they shut that gate, they're going to tear up your truck. So this guard at this point is not going to shut this thing. But if he comes up with some cockamamie reason that you need to sit there and have a discussion and your next load's going to be late, at this point you'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna pull up and get out of the way and everything, and you say, okay, you just be real agreeable and just drive off. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but you always want to park in the threshold because he's not going. There, I've drove off 100 times. The guard will not shut the gate on your vehicle. He won't do it. They just don't even worry about that. It's kind of funny, and some of them will get real mad when you drive off. But that's why you park in the threshold. Anyway, so do your delivery checklist. Okay, so when your orientation, you want to develop your own load checklist. What's the protocols that your carrier wants you to do, and then your delivery checklist and what your carrier wants you to do. In my case, I got to fill out this trip pack and take pictures of the BOL receipts and take a picture of the actual trip sheet, which happens to be an envelope, and then I send that information in. Okay, and however they want, like we got a deal. It's called Drive Axle, where you take pictures and stuff. Okay. Another thing, you're in orientation, right? Fueling. Like, what is their process for fueling? And they're going to have particulars or whatever. With us, we were Loves, and now we're Pilot Flying J because I get a better discount. But we have a different app called Fuel Book, and my company has a specific number to put into Fuel Book. Okay, and then I can do this search thing where I can select by the state and the what state I'm in, what truck stop I'm looking for, even down to which highway and all this kind of stuff, right? So I click that in or whatever, and I click that power search deal. Boom, it pops up and it shows where my company's getting the best price. I don't care what it says on the sign out in front of the store. You'll stop at a store that says, $3.35, and then your company's getting $2.90 a gallon or whatever. And then you get on Fuel Book and you're like, oh, across the street it was $2.45, or 20 miles down the road, whatever. That's part of your trip planning. So make sure that you get the protocols. Write a list of protocols. Your line item is fueling. How does this company want me to fuel? What is their procedure? Okay. Now, of course, you want to get paid. All right. The next line item is going to be your paycheck. So this will save you so much problems in your trucking career. What it takes to operate this vehicle from A to B. Okay. So I gotta get the oil changed every now and then. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to stop and get fuel. I might do some kind of song and dance at every stop. You know what I mean? If I stop for the night at a truck stop, I'm gonna have to park it. If I go to a shipper and receiver, I gotta do whatever their procedures are. I call that the song and dance. You know what I mean? So I gotta be able to deal with breakdowns, all kinds of stuff, right? For that service, I'm going to get a check. That check is for all of that. Okay. Now, different companies do different ways. Okay. So one place is going to be like, we got paid cents per mile. Then we're going to get paid on duty time for, being in the dock. And then there's going to be like a layover, and there's going to be detention pay, and all these other different kind of things. Okay. Write down what that specifically is. You know what I mean? Am I getting $150 a day to sit here and babysit this truck? You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean? Or like for me, I'm 100% production pay. So I get paid by how far I drive. So the only thing that affects my check is the odometer. How far did I go? What's this load paying? How far did I go? But I know that, right? And I also know that I'm going to have to take a day here and there to deal with oil changes and stuff. That pay, just because they're measuring it whatever way they decide, understand that. And then maximize that. Like I know a guy, he works for Walmart. He makes as much money pencil whipping all the little side items as he does driving the truck. You know what I mean? And then me, I don't have no side items to pencil whip them or whatever else like that. But dude, I'm running 3,600 miles every week consistently, going on 3 years in a crap economy. You know what I mean? So like where I'm at, it's all about go, 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 go. And I'm a driver, not a sitter. If I sit around, like right now, I'm sitting here waiting on load, and it's been like 34 minutes, right? So I'm not really happy with that. But they were going to send me to LA, but LA's on fire. So that's another thing. You want to pay attention to that. But figure out what your pay scale is. That's a line item. Another line item is breakdowns. Who do I call when this thing quits me while I'm driving down the road? When I have a flat, the motor blows up, the trailer catches on fire, whatever. Uh, your trailer's probably not going to catch on fire. So don't even worry about that. But what do I do in a breakdown? Who do I call? Okay, then your insurance. Like you want to ask them about insurance. So, you got health insurance, life insurance. Generally, they got some kind of $10,000 policy. That way, if you die, the policy covers like sending your body home or whatever. Which, I mean, you're not going to die. I mean, let's just be real clear. Like, you're going to be borderline living in a truck if you're over the road. You know what I mean? And this is going to go on for 30 years probably. You know what I mean? So, like, settle in, calm down. You know what I mean? Settle in and just calm down, right? Okay, then you want to go over the permit book. Another line item is the permit book. Okay, so your permit book, you got to have a bunch of papers in there. Okay, understand what those papers are. Understand how to look for the expiration date. Very critical. Very critical. You don't want a piece of paper in there that's expired. And then here's a pro tip. When you get the new registration, take the old registration out and throw it away. Because I got pulled over in Arizona and I had 3 registration papers in there for 3 years. I just kept adding them to it. Well, go through the thing, do an inspection, and this guy takes out the current and then said that the one from last year was the only one in there. I said, buddy, there was 3 years worth in there. You know what I mean? That's part of my pre-trip inspection, is to look at that permit book, right? So I knew it was there. I knew for a fact it was there, and the new one had come out about within the last 45 days. And that paper was not in there. So when he took that thing out and left the old one in there, then he wrote me a ticket for it too. That's what he did, son of a bitch. So take out any old paperwork. Make sure that you have your checklist for what do I do in the case of an accident. Okay, so you've run over something with the trailer, like there's a, you hit like more than a cone, right? You pulled in somewhere, you took down the stop sign, or in the other case, there's like incident. What's the incident stuff and all that? Like, what do you do if there's a wreck? Okay, and I'm making this too long. This is just your orientation notes. Here's this thing again. Hit like and subscribe button. That's cool. I'm trying to do this live. Okay, so your orientation notes, you got to do that. That's a line item. Find out your company procedures and protocols. Make sure that you understand how you're going to receive your load assignments. Understand your ELD. What do you want from me on this deal? That's DOT compliance and company policy. It doesn't matter if they call it a law or a policy. It's all the same thing. Just do whatever they say. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to say this is smart or this is stupid. Just shut the fuss up. Do not fuss about it. Just do what you're required to do. Shut the fuss up and get her done. Okay, load checklist. This is what they expect. Delivery checklist. This is what they expect. This two here, you tell the company what you expect them to do. I need the name of the place. I need the address. I need the day of the appointment and what time. If I just got that to load and to deliver, by God, we can do business. Okay, how do we do about the fueling? What do we do with that? Do we save receipts, send it in, whatever? Pay me. pay me, buddy. What's going on here? Are we prorating some crap until Friday, or are we going load by load, percentage, cents per mile? What's with all the little extras? Do I need to document 47 different things to actually get my full check? You know what I mean? What kind of company are we dealing with? All right, breakdowns. What do we do when this thing breaks down, right? What about the insurance? What's going on there? Does it make sense for me? Permit book and update status. A couple others that you're going to want to ask. You're going to want to ask them about home time. Do I take the truck home with me? Type of deal. The last thing you want to do is have to take your truck to some yard somewhere and then get in your personal vehicle and drive for an hour to get home. You want to park your truck as close to your house as possible and call somebody to get a ride or get an Uber home, whatever. Do not go out here and buy a freaking Dodge Hellcat and then park that thing at a company parking lot that doesn't even have just barely a fence. And if they got a guard, he ain't looking half the time. And then everybody drive by and look at this Dodge Hellcat. Oh, that's a red eye. Oh, look at this nice car. Oh, that's a 69 Chevy pickup. Oh, that's a whatever. And they look at it. They see that thing sit there. Every day they drive past it for 6 or 8 months. And they get to thinking, they get to whatever. That truck's going to get stolen. My uncle had it was just a green Ford pickup. But it was kind of nice. Dude, that thing got stole 4 times. 4 times it got stole because he drove to work, he parked it, and I said, I asked him one day, I said, well, considering how much you drove, and then when you'd actually do your home time or whatever else like that, how many miles does this truck have on it? He said the last time he got it back from the cops, it had 61,000 miles on it over the course of like 8 years. And he said probably 10,000 miles of that was while someone had stolen it and was actively driving it in a crazy manner. I said, so you should just bought an old junky car and parked out there. And he immediately said, no, I should have called my wife to come pick me up or have my wife or kids drop me off. And he said, nowadays you got Uber, so it's borderline retarded to drive a vehicle, especially a nice vehicle, and then leave it parked at the job. Don't do that. It's stupid. And then for me, it's a bonus to just park at the truck stop down the road and just Uber home, call the wife, whatever. But yeah, that's some of the stuff about getting a job. So there you go. There again, my 5-minute quick checklist has turned into a 45-minute video or whatever. All right, Raquel. Share this with people that are, especially a new person. I got a playlist on here. Some of it's business, some of it's CDL stuff, and it's not all just me talking. It's other things that have helped me. Like I'm YouTube certified on some of this stuff. You know what I mean? So like I'll get on here and watch, and I'll see somebody, and I'm like, hey, that makes sense. And then they add some perspective, right? So I'm learning from them. So I'll stick that on the playlist. And I do, a lot of stuff like that in different playlists for different reasons or whatever. But it's all about learning. It doesn't matter if you want to pay $45,000 to go somewhere where somebody can tell you how to run a business, but that person is a teacher and they've never run a business. You're going to get a certain amount of information. Okay, you can go talk to somebody that quit high school, but has been running a business for 26 years, dude. They'll just tell you the straight of it and the practical how it really is. And that's where that disconnect between education and experience. Okay? And you cannot buy experience. But it's literally cheaper to get the information from somebody that already been there, done that. And okay, here's the last pro tip, and I'm going to shut up. Don't quit learning. Don't quit learning. You have to educate yourself, and absolutely do not think it's going to be easy. Everybody that says it's easy is full of shit. There is no easy way. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. You are going to have to do the work and put in the time and worry about the quality, and the money will come. If you produce you produce, and this is any industry, you know what I mean? You're providing a service, right? So get that in your head. I'm gonna provide this service, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it a great experience for everyone I encounter. And then I'm gonna get a check. And if I'm cool with that check, and that check ain't what I think it should be, but I'm learning these things, that's kind of paying for college, right? So if I got to be over here at Joe Blow trucking, and I'm cutting my teeth, and I'm growing and learning and experiencing, and figuring out how to like look and see if the door is actually open before I back into the building. I'm actually watching out to not run over the fire hydrant. And that thing ain't very big. It ain't very big, and it gets dark out here. Watch out for that fire hydrant. Don't stop learning, and be professional. Put in the quality service to the top notch, to the nines, and challenge yourself. It's like a video game. Like you're leveling up in this situation. You know what I mean? And you're getting those like loot drop or whatever is your paycheck, right? And then like study your finances and stuff, and learn how to keep your money. Be real cheap on what you're buying, but buy quality, and then keep your money. So like file your taxes right. You know what I mean? Prorate this, that, and the other. Have a trucking tax professional. Do not file your taxes yourself. Find a trucking industry CPA to do your taxes, and they will charge you $350 to $700 to do it, and they will save you $5,000 every year and get you through a freaking IRS audit. I've been audited 3 times in 8 years of driving, and never had any trouble. Called my guy. Hey, they say blah blah. He says send me the letter. I send the letter. Done. I don't do nothing. Everything's already in his system. Blah blah blah. He's prepared every one of my taxes the whole time I've been driving. So it's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. And he's like the son of the guy that started the place. So and my pastor was a truck driver who, when I moved to Texas, told me about this guy. So that was cool. You know what I mean? So like find your other trucker buddy and say, what do you do about taxes? And hear from this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. They're all going to exaggerate for some reason. I don't know why everybody exaggerates, but they do. And then there's going to be, you're going to hear these horrific things. And those are actually true. You will hear about the guy that lost everything when it came time to pay taxes because he wasn't set up right. You know what I'm saying? So that's more of a personal thing. That's not something you do orientation. This is an orientation checklist. There's probably another 10 things that you should be doing. Take care of yourself. Buy your own food at the store and cook in the truck. Do not eat $7,000 worth of Doritos, gain 46 pounds, and wonder why your wife left. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out, go for a walk, right? Like this whole 45-minute video here, I should have been like just walking, enjoying the sun coming up, and like lowering my cortisol, increasing my fresh air, and all that kind of stuff, which is what I'm fixing to do, apparently. This guy ain't going to call me back, so. All right, anyway, Rock Hill. Go get them.